Hello and welcome to our beloved parishioners. I'm Bailee.
And I'm Ashley.
And this is Praise Be to Pod. Thank you so much for joining us. Ashley, what is on your heart?
What's on my heart is this past weekend, I had my midsummer party.
I attended.
Celebrating the summer solstice.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob did not attend.
He was busy at the quarry.
And neither did my cool chiropractors who said they were coming. And I told everyone they were coming. And they also told me they listen. So we'll see if they really do.
Okay.
I think they were literally in Colorado. So I don't know why they ever told me they were coming, but they didn't come. But my physical therapist did come.
I did see her.
Okay, I actually have real friends too. Like I've invited everyone I know. Because it's really fun and we did a lot of planning.
It was so fun. Yeah, it was so worth it.
My physical therapist did come, but like I didn't realize she can't tell anyone how she knows me because it breaks HIPAA. Some people are like, "How do you know Ashley?" And she was like, "Work." And they're like, "Wait, what?" Because like one of the other people that was there, I actually worked with. And she's like, "You don't work that." Like it was so weird. And I was like, "Haley, you can tell them how you know me."
Yeah.
So I had to like formally tell her it's okay that you tell them you're my provider. You know.
Yeah.
It was really funny. But we were celebrating the summer solstice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the real star of the party was a cake that our friend Skip made.
Yes.
So I do have a picture that we're going to put on the screen.
Yes, because you were not only celebrating the summer solstice. What else were you celebrating?
Midsummer. The theme was Midsummer, like the movie Midsummer.
Yes, to clarify.
Which is a summer solstice movie.
Yes. That's what it's about.
So we made this cake. This cake, and there'll be a picture.
Isn't it gorgeous?
And I just can't believe she did it. So we worked on it the night before and in order to like make the flower crowns, we made like a cake that looked like Florence Pugh as the May Queen mm-hmm. in the movie Midsummer. So it's like that scene where she has that big crown of flowers and then like the big flowered dress.
Love that scene.
We made that into a cake with a Barbie mm-hmm. head. And so to make the actual flower crown, I carved a potato and jammed it into the Barbie's head with a stick.
Oh my God.
Like a toothpick.
Yeah.
And then she like piped down the flowers.
It's literally so cool.
It looked
so just
good.
Like her. It was so impressive. The person I brought with, that's their favorite movie. And they were just like beside themselves.
Yeah.
They were so impressed. And then you also went all out with the food. It was all like Scandinavian, Swedish theme. And it was delicious.
But not like scary fish. It was like lamb and strawberries.
Yeah. And like Swedish meatballs.
Lots of dill is like very popular.
Yep.
Midsummer.
Really nice like punches and stuff. It was truly so much fun.
So
and there
was
like
next time,
symbolism
Jacob.
Everywhere.
No.
For the winter solstice.
I always wanted to do winter solstice, but it's like the week before Christmas. No one's gonna come,
the 21st.
You know?
Yeah. You could do like a fall and spring equinox.
Fall solstice.
Equinox. Sorry, astrology girl.
Equinox.
Perfect.
It was also the hottest day of my life.
So hot.
It was like unbelievably hot in Minnesota this past weekend. Like record-breaking heat. And I could not cool off. And I really thought there was something wrong with me. Like, mm-hmm. I know that I need to get my blood pressure checked. And I was like, oh my God, is my cholesterol high? Like, what's wrong with me? And then I realized it's my first summer on an SSRI.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on an SSRI and you're having a hard time cooling down, that is a side effect. So you're not crazy.
It is.
Yes. So what about you? What's on your heart?
Okay, so fast forward, the year is 2020. We all go into lockdown. And there's context.
Fast forward? I'm confused.
Did I say fast forward?
Yeah.
Rewind is what I meant.
There we go.
The year 2020.
Okay.
I, like many people, had to scale back my life during that period of time.
Yeah.
And I felt like none of us were really able to go out and do anything.
Right.
And I've had this feeling that I've been wrestling with, that it like robbed me of some good years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So to counter it, I have been living it up the last couple of years, and I have been eating and drinking and being merriful.
Yeah.
And it has been great because I've just been wanting to, like, I don't say no to anything. I'm just so happy and excited to re-engage with life and society and my friends. And I feel like I'm still on that high. But if I'm being honest, I've gotten a little overindulgent with my spending, with like food and drinking. And it's all for like a good reason. It's like rooted in joy. But I know that there is a pretty steep recession coming. And then also like this podcast is a financial investment right
Mhm.
now. And so I am really trying to like take a good hard look at my like indulgences right now. And I'm trying to create like some more self-control
Mhm.
in like not reaching for everything I want kind of a thing. And so if anybody has any tips on like recession grocery shopping or ways that they've scaled back their lifestyle, I'm so open to it because it is just I've tried a lot of different things, but I just really like to have a good time.
Yeah, it's just so hard.
I know. And like when you spend like the early years of your life having to say no to everything because you grew up the way that we grew up, you
Yeah.
just want to say yes to everything. And
Yeah.
like I do want to be a yes girl. Like I want to like have an open mind, but like I can't. I don't have capacity for these splurges anymore.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying. I've been thinking a lot about how to like because there's a different type of joy you can have when you're walking in self control, like when you're saving money and you see your savings grow. There's a
Yeah.
lot of joy in that. Or
Yeah, you only
when
have one life. Like, it's hard. It's hard. I don't
I
blame
have
you.
one life and it's a good one. But
I'm in the same boat.
anyway, that's just what I've been thinking about. It's like how to stay happy and frugal at the same time. So if you have any
Totally.
tips, my heart is ready to receive them.
All right. Well, with today's topic is set apart. Okay. So we'll get more into that later. But we're going to play a little game called Worldly or Worthy. And I'm going to present you with random life choices or pop culture things. And you will let me know if you think it's too worldly or still worthy of a Christian trying to be set apart.
Okay, cool. And worldly is like overly indulgent or sinful.
Sinful. Worldly.
Sin or sin adjacent. Got it.
Okay. First one, taking selfies.
I feel like if you put like a Proverbs 31 Bible verse on the selfie, it's worthy.
Go. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't love a selfie myself. I think some of them are okay, some of them are cringe.
Yeah.
I don't think that the vast majority of Christians would view it as worldly.
Okay. What about watching The Bachelor?
I feel like I know a ton of evangelicals that like The Bachelor, so I'm going to say it's worthy.
I think it's worthy because it's centered around marriage,
Right.
getting married.
Yeah.
It's
And getting married
also
quick
getting married fast
Mhm.
and getting married
with limited
man and
understanding of each
woman,
other.
a man and a woman.
Yes.
And also, The Bachelor, fun fact, is the best way I made friends moving around.
Really?
Yes, I would host a bachelorette night, have people come over, I would make food for them, have a cheese board. That's how I made all my girlfriends.
It's a great way to like
Yep.
connect with people.
Yep. It's fun when you watch with a bunch of people, but
Yeah.
that's not fun when you just watch by yourself. Okay, getting a nose ring.
I would say worthy because I feel like the like fringe evangelical world that I grew up in was tattoos and piercings.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when I worked with a lot of Christians in the Mormon world,
Mm-hmm.
they literally set themselves apart with piercings and tattoos so people would know they weren't Mormon.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then they would be Christian.
Someone was telling me when I was in Jordan, they had converted from Islam to Christianity and they set themselves apart by drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is something that would
So
be
taboo
taboo with
and-
Protestant
Yes.
Christians, but set themselves apart from Muslims in
Yes.
Jordan.
Not like in Europe, Christians all drink. They're
Yeah, this
normal.
was like
Yeah.
the Middle East has a like
Yeah.
depending on the country, sometimes you can't even drink
Right.
at all.
True.
But it's I think adjacent to like Islam is that they don't often drink.
Okay. This one's a hard one. Playing your shofar at Pride. Worthy or worldly?
Is it like a Westboro Baptist Church thing, or is it like participating in Pride?
You know, up to you.
Okay, I just feel like when I'm visualizing someone playing shofar at Pride, it feels very protesting Pride.
Yes.
So I would say Christians would probably deem it worthy.
Okay. What about using the phrase vibe check?
Worldly. Vibes are of Satan.
Listening to Taylor Swift, specifically the TPD album, Tortured Poets Department. Or whatever.
Man, every time I've heard discourse on this, it's been against my will. But I don't know. I feel like I got a lot of like TikToks from the far right evangelicals that were like, if you play it backwards, it's like
Yeah, they
or
were
like,
very against it.
there's a lot of stuff where they think that she's done a deal with the devil, and that's why she's so rich and famous.
I know someone whose parents took it away from them.
Really?
Yes, the TPD album.
Well, I guess it's worldly then.
One time my dad took away the movie Office Space from me. I was 19.
When you you were 19?
I don't know.
What
I feel
authority
like
did he
I feel like
have?
he got it mixed up. Like he just took it out of my room. He's like, "You should be watching this." I feel like he got it mixed up with something else that it wasn't. Because I was like,
Is it R-rated?
"It's a pretty clean movie."
I think so.
I don't. The
Do you
only.
think it was The Office?
I don't know. I don't know. It was really weird. I was like, I haven't been censored like this most of my childhood.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
But 19 was the age where the rules came down.
He also says he listens. We'll see.
Hmm.
Okay. Traveling to Las Vegas and staying on the Strip.
Worldly.
Very.
You shouldn't even be in Nevada.
No, it's not above reproach.
No. you should be
shouldn't
flying
live
over
in Nevada at all.
Yes.
Hanging out in your boyfriend's bedroom.
Oh, so worldly. So
I got in trouble for that one many a
so
time.
worldly. Yeah.
Reading your horoscope just for fun.
Worldly.
Eating at Raising Cane's.
Worthy. Is there a thing about Raising Cane's?
Well, there's like an idea that it's like it's always next to Chick-fil-A and it's called Raising Cane's. It's really like named after his dog, but you know, Abel and Cain and Chick-fil-A.
Oh, got
There's
it.
like a
I
thing
mean, I
about
knew
it.
that there was. I'm sure that there's like beef and like the
They
fried
are
chicken
open
deal.
on Sundays, you know.
I think it's probably worthy.
Okay. It's Southern.
Yeah.
Playing Dungeons and Dragons, but with your small group.
Worldly. Wizards, warlocks. Warlocks are enemies of God.
Totally. Saying the universe provides.
Oh my God, so worldly. So worldly.
What about using the phrase "my truth"?
I feel like that is worldly because that is when someone would come in and say, like, there's one truth and it's
Yes.
God. You can't have your own
Yeah.
iteration of the truth.
Only one truth.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're not a Christian.
Yeah, that feels like that was like saying something was your truth was when like the tolerance campaign.
Yeah, it's
came
like a
in with early-
relativistic.
Yes,
issue.
and that
Yeah.
I feel like came around when like people were becoming more accepting to like LGBTQ people. In fact, that specific vernacular
Mhm.
ended up becoming like associated with being more open-minded.
Yeah.
So no, can't say my truth.
Okay, going to Paris for fun.
Oh, probably worthy. Is that?
I
Can
feel like-
you not go to Paris now?
Well, I feel like some people travel only for missions.
Paris is just fashion.
Yeah, too worldly.
I think it's fine.
All right. What about vaping with your coworkers on your break at work?
Worldly.
Celebrating Halloween in a modest costume.
Worldly.
Totally. I'm just gonna do a couple more.
Okay.
I don't know if you're too young for this. Watching TRL after school.
I don't know what TRL
Okay, you
is.
are too young. Shoot.
Sorry.
You know what it is? Wow, even our 23-year-old buddy over here knows. TRL.
Well, maybe I
Total
don't-
Request Live. I think it's probably because you were too sheltered.
maybe, but like,
We're
it's an
allowed.
acronym for something. For
Total
what?
Request Live.
I don't know.
Carson Daly. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay, he used to host a show on MTV. It was like at 3:30 every day right after school.
Uh-huh.
And it was like basically like the top 10 music videos of the day.
Okay.
And he would host different people and it was in Times Square.
Okay. Well, that's so obviously worldly.
Obviously. Okay, one more. Going to therapy instead of praying through it.
If it's a Christian counselor provided through your church and this person is not licensed and does not abide by HIPAA, that would be worthy.
Okay.
If this person is a licensed therapist and has a master's in like some type of like clinical therapy, social work, whatever, worldly.
Okay, great.
Because they
Good.
might teach you things like trusting yourself
Totally
instead of
yeah.
trusting God.
How dare they?
And it's a slippery slope after. It's a slippery slope to joy and happiness after
Yeah.
that.
To like actually getting your serotonin levels
Yes,
correct.
you might start getting on medication. You might start creating boundaries with people. Yeah. Oof, that's rough.
You might know your worth.
You might know your worth outside of God. Okay, so like Ashley said earlier, we are going to be talking about the evangelical obsession and concept with being set apart. So for those of you who were not exposed to this ideology the way that Ashley and I were, you might be asking, what the fuck is set apart? And that's a really great question. So in Christianity, being set apart refers to the idea of being in the world, but not of it. So essentially this desire to be different from other people, to be Christ-like. But it oftentimes would fall into this, I guess, like ditch of just being like kind of tough to be around and like intentionally contrarian
Yeah.
and obtuse. And that pretty much like anytime you had like someone was like put off by you, it was an indicator that you were like in the right. Because in the Bible, it said Jesus says like if the world hates you, know that it hated me first. So anytime they were hated, they're like, I must be doing something right. But it was never considered that maybe you're just being an asshole. So I feel like that was something that really plagued our experience with faith.
Yeah, I mean, like I know that there's no comparison to someone who's like trying to walk into Planned Parenthood and gets harassed by someone with a microphone. But every time I would go to a Timberwolves game, there was some guy outside with those big like speakers and a sign that's like you're going to hell, basically. Yeah. And I was like, for basketball?
Maybe. I think anytime there's like a big like organized
maybe it's just like
situation.
they know a lot of people will be there.
Yeah.
But I was like, why don't you come for the Katy Perry concert? Why are you here for the Timberwolves?
Good question, actually.
Get it together, dude.
Seriously.
Okay, so where does this come from?
Yeah, where does it come from?
There is a little verse in the Bible that says, John 17:14-16, where Jesus says of his followers, they are not of the world, even as I am not of it. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, early 2000s, there was a very popular brand, Not of This World.
I wanted their merch so bad.
And like we really wanted to put something on the screen, but I'm not familiar enough with copyright laws to know if we can or can't.
We couldn't. I looked it up. But there was nothing that
like I really wanted to do it anyway, but it was like this circle. Everyone had a bumper sticker of it.
Yep.
It was a circle and then it had like a T through it. It was like NOTW, like all overlapping logo, which is my least favorite logo structure.
It's not accessible or it doesn't
not at all
make accessibility requirements.
So I was like, wait, where is this brand now? Are they still making shirts? They are, but they've been bought out by Mardell, which is like a really popular Christian bookstore, like mainly in this like Oklahoma in the South.
Yeah, I've been
like
to Mardell's.
Connected to the Hobby Lobby family.
The Green family?
Yeah. So Not of This World was a really great bumper sticker. It like succeeded the Christian Ichthus. Do you ever have one of those on your car?
The Christian, no.
That fish.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, a lot of like millennials or pre-millennials had the tattoo in their foot. Thank God I never got that tattoo.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so we had that for a while, and then it turned into a Not of This World bumper sticker instead. I did have the fish on my car.
It's okay. I did too because it was my grandma's car, and I bought it from her, and she had the fish, and I just couldn't get rid of it. And I was like, I guess it's fine. I like
my
fish.
car was like $200, I think.
I think mine was about that.
Yeah. And I also think I had a sticker that said fireproof.
Like the Kirk Cameron.
It was before.
Tell me it isn't so.
It was before the movie.
It just said fireproof?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm a Christian.
Oh, like you're not gonna burn in hell?
Yeah. Jeez. With my fish.
Can I tell you a really funny fireproof story quickly?
Of course.
Okay, so I had to go see the movie Fireproof with my mom in theaters, and we went and we saw it. And afterwards, she liked it so much that she was like, I'm going to go up to the movie theater staff and thank them for showing this movie. And I was like, don't do that. They don't pick what movie. Like they just work here. Like you're just going to look weird if you do that. And I begged her. I was like, I promise you that if you thank the staff of the movie theater for showing Fireproof, you're just going to look. It's not going to do what you think it's going to do.
Right.
I begged her, but the more I begged her, the more it was like no, I'm going to be set apart and do it. And like she would they were like, why are you keeping me from doing this? I'm like, I'm trying to like literally make you to protect you from like looking crazy.
Yeah.
So she went up to the staff to thank them for showing Fireproof at the movie theater.
Amazing.
That's so funny.
It sounds a little familiar. It sounds like when I took you to see Sinners. I'm surprised you didn't do that.
I was this close. I was this close. My mother's spirit was operating from me where I was like, I am about to thank anyone. I am about to go to the theater and be like, this is the best goddamn movie that you have shown at AMC before.
Have you seen it yet?
I was thinking about that movie today.
I bet you were.
Yeah, I bet I was. And I was listening to the soundtrack. Oh my God. I was this close to being like, thank you for honoring the story of this movie by playing it in your theater.
Okay, so how did the idea of like being holy become this like weird idea of like, oh, we'll be different, and then we will be so weird on purpose.
Yeah. Okay, so if I had to guess, historical context, we are talking about people that are like the only people getting circumcised. They're like
Mm.
going through like actual real persecution in
Hmm.
their like I'm assuming that like someone like either it was it was the New Testament, so it would be Rome would be occupying Judea at the time. So they're getting like flushed with all of this like pagan
Oh
and
yeah.
like Herod Caesar first like I don't know, propaganda. And so they are afraid of standing out because to stand out would have been putting like a target on you, not for persecution, but for, or not for like people being mean to you, but for actual danger.
Hmm.
So I think that like that is maybe the audience that was getting this message was like, fear not, for I have overcome the
Yeah.
world kind of a thing. Like,
Yeah.
and to stand up to like an actual like overthrowing regime. But now Christians love to act persecuted.
Hmm.
And so they create scenarios of persecution.
Yeah.
And they pick like get people's buttons, or they say things that are like intentionally politically obtuse, and then someone's like, please don't say a slur, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I'm being persecuted right now. So I feel like it's like them
Yeah.
wanting to feel like legit Christians, so they're like trying to make connections between like them and the early church. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, is that a
Yeah.
reach?
No,
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's really interesting, and to think of how today's, 16-year-old with their backpack at their public school is thinking that they are the same as someone who is in danger of being murdered for being a Christian
Right.
in the New Testament.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, I
pretty
think
much the same.
it's just like when people try to like over apply scripture to like modern day life, and like now Christians are like the predominant religion of America. They've like infiltrated Congress, like, and the Supreme Court, but they still want to pretend that they're like persecuted.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, like you're like the group in power. You're Rome now.
yeah,
Like you can't be a victim and a perpetrator at the same. I mean, you technically can, but like you can't have that mindset for like both.
yeah. So, what are some like stories of you being super cringe, but thinking you're doing something for the Lord,
Oh
or
God.
something happening to you?
Okay, so I know that you view me as like somebody who kind of like resisted a lot of things,
Yeah.
but this was Kool-Aid I did drink.
What is it? I'm so excited.
So like so you know when you're like getting like you're coming of age and you're starting to develop like appropriate social cues.
Mhm.
So like you are starting to become more aware of when you have embarrassed yourself
Okay.
by saying something. I feel like Christian parents try to like stop that from happening to you.
Mhm.
And every time it happens, they're like, oh, it's because like your sin nature is like trying to keep you from like evangelizing.
Oh, yeah.
So I just
The
remember
flesh.
like every time I would go to a friend's house and I would come back home and my mom would be like, did you witness to someone or did you evangelize? And it would happen like pretty regularly.
Mhm.
And to the point where like sometimes if I wanted to hang out with someone, I couldn't go unless I promised to evangelize. And I also hated lying. So I would go and I would go to someone's house because I just wanted to play The Sims.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like 15 minutes to go. And I'd be like, oh, have you ever heard of Jesus? Like I gotta cross something off my list real quick. So I would do this because I knew that my mom was going to, when I got home, be like, did you evangelize? And she was a bloodhound. And so she would know if I hadn't, she would see it in my eyes. But I had to do that. So I did a lot of, and then also like at some point, there were points where I truly believed that people did need to get saved to go to heaven. And so I would like, if I had a friend that I knew wasn't a Christian, like I would try to evangelize to them because like I feared for their salvation.
Yeah.
And I put myself in situations that I'm like, this does not meet the moment, but I don't want them to burn in hell. So I'm going to make the moment.
Mhm.
But I was hyper aware that I'm like, this person is clearly uncomfortable right
Mhm.
now. But I'm going to push past the discomfort that them and I are,
Mhm.
because I'm a victim of me too right now. I hate doing this. So there was that. And then there were like, this was another one that would happen a lot where if I saw that somebody was sick or someone had like a really life altering
Oh,
injury,
no.
I would feel the need to pray for
Oh,
them.
no.
I know. And I hated doing it because like nobody wants to be like recognized for having like a disability or like being in a wheelchair or not
But
being able to
they
see.
teach you to do this
You
in,
have
like
to
do they teach you at IHOP?
everywhere.
I did, like, Bethel stuff, and they taught
I
me to do
always
this,
had that.
yeah.
And like what they would say is like, if you would talk about like, I don't really want to like approach somebody who's like clearly suffering and like be like, hey, I noticed that this, like, can I pray for you? But then they would be like, okay, but like if that person knew that if you had prayed for them, they would have been healed, but you didn't because you didn't want to be
Oh, I know,
embarrassed.
it's so stressful.
And then I
The
would be
weight
like,
of the weight of the
I
world on
know,
your
I'd be like,
shoulders.
fuck, you're right. Like this person is not going to give a fuck if they could just be healed.
They
And
can
like,
walk.
why wouldn't I just take the opportunity to do
Mhm.
that? And like, so I did that a lot.
Mhm.
And I will say it was almost always met with like the person was like, oh, like that's so sweet that you would do this kind of a thing. Like you are clearly like you clearly care and I can tell you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but you, like so it was met like with kindness or maybe they
Mhm.
were just faking it. But I felt like I got into like that a lot where I felt like I really had to put my reputation and like first impression on the line to like
Yeah.
try to help
Yeah.
someone.
Did you
So
ever see any crazy healings?
no. No, I did not.
Okay,
And
so
I made a lot of friends along the way though.
I led a mission trip to Portugal when I worked for a nonprofit. We had to like lead mission trips for churches.
Hell yeah.
And uh, that is not like a it's not an easy place to be praying for people on the street
And
in Portugal.
why is that?
So we're like in Lisbon because in Europe no one cares.
Right.
They're like, please stop, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know? And
Mhm.
so we just found anyone with glasses. We're like, let me pray for you to be able to see.
Oh, I thought that was like a Cambodia thing where, you know, they targeted people in the genocide who wore glasses because they were like intellectuals. And I was like, Ashley, why were you targeting people with glasses?
No, because obviously it could be a quick, like, we could see the miracle.
Right. And they would know. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
It worked.
I was not expecting that to happen. Say
Even
more.
one of the girls on the trip.
Really?
We're like, oh, we can't find anyone to pray for because everyone's scared of the Americans in the corner. So we prayed for her. She didn't need her glasses anymore.
Well, I'll be damned.
I
You know
don't
what?
know.
That's the fun of this is that like it's so when
I
I
don't know.
think back at it, it's so annoying, it's so embarrassing, and then I hear about that, and I'm like, I just don't know.
So then it was like, oh, Ashley did a great job because these ladies from the church in Ohio were so happy with her leading the trip because everyone had their vision restored. And then I had to get LASIK.
Interesting.
Didn't work on me.
Interesting. Damn.
The poor one had to go get LASIK later.
I know it's one of
But
those.
I was healed. My eyes were healed with that laser.
There you go. Science
Yes.
won that one out.
Okay, so we were definitely set apart then, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Also, a story of mine is I remember being so ashamed of going to see you at the pole in
You
high
had
school.
talked about that, and I wasn't that ashamed. But it really had a chokehold on you. Can you
It's
talk
just
more
like,
about this?
I
You
don't
brought
know.
that up before.
It was like in front of everybody. Like it was right at the entrance where everyone's going to school.
Yeah.
And like standing around a pole, holding hands, praying. It's weird.
But you could hold
It's
hands
so
with a cute
culty.
boy and no one
It's
would
so
question you.
culty.
Yeah.
And I had a car with a Christian fish on it, but I didn't want to go to see you at the pole.
Yeah, that's weird.
That was where I drew the line. And I remember like walking in like, oh, I don't see the Christians.
Yeah.
They knew.
So when See You at the Pole kind of like had a chokehold on my school, we had just had some tragedies happen in our community.
Mm.
And so praying was a little bit more, I think a lot of people that wouldn't normally be doing that felt like they needed like comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And so praying, like it would actually, we'd have quite the turnout and it would be people who weren't particularly religious because I think like we lost some kids in our school. And so like there was that. But I actually have this memory of getting off the bus one year to go to school and I realized that it was See You at the Pole and I forgot about it. And as I was walking out of the bus, I like tripped and I fell and I hit my tailbone on the like steps.
Oh my God.
But I just tried to get up and like keep walking like it wasn't that big of a deal. And I was just like, I'll just like walk over to See You at the Pole. So I got there and I like got in and held hands. And I think I was like, I don't know, in shock or something because all of a sudden I blacked out because of the pain. And I started swaying back and forth and I fell because I passed out from it.
Slain in the spirit.
And that's what people thought at first. And they were like, wow, it's really happening. But then this young man brought me to, I had a little crush on him, but he was like, oh no, Bailee. So he brought me to the nurse. So it all worked out because I did get to hold hands with a cute boy.
Good.
You know who you are. There's no way he's watching this. So yeah, that's my see you at the pool story. So it was
Okay.
embarrassing, but in a different way.
Okay, also, when I was in college, I had a really hard time my freshman year. Like,
Mhm.
I had a hard time adjusting to college.
Mhm.
Like, the academic part of it was really a lot for me. I didn't really know how to study. Like, I don't know. It was a big jump for me.
It's a muscle you have to learn to exercise, definitely.
And like my parents didn't go to college, so I didn't really have anyone like walking me through anything. I don't have any siblings, so like I just had no idea that it
Mhm.
would be so hard. And I had a really hard time with my English 105 like professor, or 110 or whatever your intro English class that every freshman has to take. She hated me
Mm.
because I was a nightmare to like a liberal professor. I wanted to be like a trad wife,
Oh no.
and I was like sticking up for.
Now look at you. You don't even like being called a wife.
I
You're like,
know.
what?
I know. She'd be so proud
She
today
would
of
actually.
what she did to
If
me.
I was a teacher, that would be my like pride. Is that like kid that was
Yeah.
difficult, like that ended up like seeing the light later on. Like that
Yeah.
would give me a lot of
Yeah.
like peace of mind that I was doing the right stuff.
Um, so anyway, she was like really mean to me and like obviously persecuting me for my beliefs because I was so set apart. Because it was like a small class, like those classes, those English comm classes are like 20 kids, and you have
Mhm.
to talk a lot and like
Yeah.
discuss a lot. And I was very opinionated and like very dumb and had a lot of like horrifying views of life and being a trad wife.
Yeah, like the earth is 6,000 years old, women shouldn't
Yeah, of
vote, just
course.
classic things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Do you remember when there was like this obsession with people talking about like atheist teachers and professors targeting Christians in class?
Oh, yeah.
Like they acted like oh, these atheists just can't wait to get Christians in their classroom so they can just like attack them. And there were all these
Yes.
like email chains going around of
Isn't
like
isn't that the plot of
of God.
God's Not
I
Dead?
so yeah, it is. But I just said that it came from that like fear or that like mania where people were just like, this is what's gonna happen. And I'm just like, atheist professors don't give a shit. They just don't want you interrupting
Yeah, that's
their
why you
course on
stop being
evolution
annoying.
because they
Yeah.
need to teach it. And so if they need to like shut you down, they might have to because it's not a place for religion in this class. But they
Yeah.
would act like they were just like, oh, let me sink my teeth into some Christian students. Like
Yeah.
they were so villainized. And then also like kids would have such a martyrdom complex about defending God in the classroom.
Yes.
And they would think that they were like such heroes for doing it. And it's just like that wasn't even like I would say like that happened to me a lot is that I was like by the time I was in college and I also went to a Christian college, I was on the opposite spectrum where I was
Mhm.
like arguing with my conservative professors. But when I was in like high school, I just remember and I was already starting to kind of like be like, "Ooh, I don't know if I believe in this stuff."
Mhm.
But I felt a lot of pressure to like defend and represent political views that I didn't even really earnestly have.
Mhm.
But I felt like I had to do that because like if like I did have a lot of arguments with my mom where when she found out that I didn't do that, she'd get really mad at me.
Mm.
And so I was like, I got like, and I don't even know how to explain it. I didn't really believe it, but I still felt like I had to wrestle it. But I just felt like such a victim during those moments because everyone was like, what the fuck is she even talking about? And now I look back and I'm like, oh, you were being annoying, but I felt so persecuted in that moment. And I did find a lot of peace of mind knowing like, oh, well, it means I got a jewel in my crown in heaven. Or like Jesus would be really proud of me. Like it's the thing
Yeah.
you have to tell yourself when your life is just so embarrassing.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I remember, okay, so my senior year of high school, I was in a theater class, and our teacher made us all write a 10-minute play,
Mhm.
and we all had to submit it to this competition in the city. So it was like community ed or like a community production thing. So there were a lot of people that submitted them, but she made her whole class submit them.
Mhm.
And me and my writing partner, we actually won, and our
Oh,
play was put
cool.
on in
Mhm.
the city with like other adults.
Oh, that's
Like
cool.
we were the only teens that got selected. They
Mhm.
didn't know we were teens. It was just so good.
Apparently, that actually
Um,
sounds really cool.
and I remember I wrote a line in the play that said, "Oh my God," because like someone
Backfire.
died or something. Like it was extreme.
Yeah.
And my dad, like after the play, like this crazy accomplishment, like I was 17 and my
Yeah.
play was put on in our city with
Yeah.
other adults. Like this was really cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't believe you used the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, I hate
And I
that.
think that he would really cringe at that today. Like he's
Yeah.
not really like that. The problem was like he was like that once in a while.
Yeah.
And he was like
It was like a hit. Like, he would just get
like
like
a
a
little bit
moment
of
of
his
conviction.
yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe his religion came
Yeah.
up and it was like, "Okay, Dad, like sorry I'm not set apart enough for you.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't make about becoming a Christian."
Literally.
Like when you can't make any art that isn't Christian, that's
Right.
not
Because
good.
it's a
Yeah.
missed opportunity to evangelize. And so, like,
So stressful.
it is because, and there's so much weight put on all of those moments, because it's like, if you don't make this like a spectacle that like is essentially an altar call, like, there are people who are going to go to hell because of you, because that could have been the only time they had an opportunity. And I'm like, if you're an American, you are constantly being bombarded by Christian
Also, the only people that
propaganda.
care about that are other Christians.
I know.
No non-Christian is like, "Oh, let me listen to this great Christian music." Absolutely not.
Right. Yes.
It's only Christians
And
listening to it.
a lot of the stories of like people who used to not be Christian, who would like have an experience with that, were typically people who grew up Christian, backslid for a period of time, and then came back to it, maybe because it was scary out in the world or
Yeah.
something. And so then there's always something like that. There was this, when I went to that like theater school in high school, there was this boy in my grade who was such a gifted actor. Like, he was so talented, and he grew up in a conservative environment like I did. And we, like, it was a boarding school in the Twin Cities. So it was such a culture shock for both of him and I, because we were from like rural Minnesota and also from conservative backgrounds. And I remember he was the lead in one of our plays, and he was so gifted. And he said, "Damn," in one of the productions. And afterwards, there were like all these people that came up to him, and they were like, "That was so amazing." And then his family came up with him, and the first thing out of one of their mouths is, "You said damn."
Oh no.
And I just like remember thinking,
Ruined his witness.
well, yes. And I just like remember thinking, like, fuck you. Like, that's what you, like, he just gave this production his whole heart. Like, I would be so proud of him as if I was a parent, seeing my like young, precocious kid, like leave the small town and be the lead in a play with all of these like Minneapolis kids that like had access to all of these art resources, and like he didn't.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they could say was that he said damn. I just like, that was how I grew up too. And I'm just like I saw, like, I'd stepped outside of my own experience and saw it in someone else. And I just remember like having so much empathy for him in that moment that I couldn't extend to myself. But I remember being so sad for him.
Yeah, like, what is it with the criticism?
So much, and that's what they lead with, is just like,
it's like triggering me right now of my old job.
Seriously.
Wait a minute.
So one thing that I think is important to like point out, I guess, is I feel like this obsession with being set apart that's like drilled on you from like a young age, it is primed for creating a very like us versus them mentality. So because it's like, this is how the world operates and behaves, but you're different, which obviously is a breeding ground for like self-righteousness, severe judgment, and then like also like self-isolation and this need to be different. And I feel like a lot of like Christian subculture is a response to that.
Yeah.
Like, I think the MAGA movement in some ways, there was a response to that. Like, there's this joy they get in being so goddamn insufferable to be around. And like, I think about, and I'm not talking about all of them, but there's like a portion where it's
the
like
extreme side.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Do you remember like during the pandemic, there was this TikTok that went viral of this girl who was like pretending to be like forced to take the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, but she's like, they're doing it like it's the mark of the beast. And so there's like this dramatic music playing in the background. And then people are like, all right, you have to take the vaccine. And she's like, no, I won't do it. And then they're like, do you know what that means if you don't take it? And she's like, yes, I do. And she's like crying in this video she makes. And then they beat her in the video. And I was just like, that's not even happening, but you're like fantasizing about this concept of being beaten for not taking. It's like you want to create these experiences that aren't even real.
If only that girl would have known about the Lifehouse skit. She would have had the time of her life.
She would have found a way to express. She also like cried on cue really impressively. Where I'm like, she'd probably be she just needs to get into a movie. She needs to get out of Fox News. Someone needs to recruit her from being like a public persona. But she got so much shit for that because it was so cringe. But I feel like that is a really good example of just like getting so obsessed with the idea that everyone is out to persecute you and change you, but you're standing firm in your beliefs. But
Mhm.
it just creates such a toxic, like resistance, antagonistic culture. And it keeps you from being able to um really connect with people on a lot of things. Like we had an
Yeah.
episode a while ago about Jesus camp. And do
Mhm.
you remember that young girl when she was talking about how she loved to dance, but like she just couldn't dance for the
Mhm.
flesh? That was her thing that she kept on saying over and over again. And then she talked about how she like wouldn't listen to Britney Spears or
Mhm.
anything like that because that was like worldly music. And I feel like that's like an example of like I'm sure that like made her like isolated from her peers so she couldn't participate in these like pop culture moments that
Mhm.
would have like really bound her to someone else or like coming of age experiences she could have shared with other people. It just felt like there was this desire and this fixation on isolating particularly young people.
I feel like I felt left out a lot,
Me too.
and the youth group would kind of make that be your set apart. They
Mm,
like rebranded it
mhm.
to be set apart. And I felt really left out of like, I don't know, fun conversations about sex or like fun conversations about, I don't know, normal things that you go through as a teen.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to partake in those. And like I didn't have my first drink till I was 21.
Mhm.
And I was very proud of that. And like I missed out on a lot of fun college experiences because of that. And I missed out, like I don't regret my college experience. I made wonderful friends. I had a great time. Like even though I was very dedicated to my Christian faith, like
Mhm.
I still had an amazing college experience. And I don't think like, oh, I wish I would have wasted that away drinking. Like
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like I didn't allow myself to like even experience like a summer backpacking through Europe. Like
Yeah.
anything that wasn't like completely sacrificial of my time and
Mhm.
any way to make real money, like wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And so I saw that as like, oh, but my life's different. I'm different. And even like when I would date people that weren't in the same faith as me, there'd come a place where it was like, well, I guess we can't date anymore because like our relationships moved on past a point where like I
God
can
told
keep
me I
dating
had to
her.
break up with you.
Well,
That
I
kind
mean,
of
like I don't want to have sex.
yeah.
So it's like, what are we gonna do?
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm just different.
Yeah. Isn't that so interesting? Because that's such a like cult tactic to isolate
Yes.
people from the outside world. And it's like this little, and I'm not saying that like every church that does this is a cult.
But there's a lot of the same tenets in cults
I would agree
as
where
any
it's
religion.
like
Yeah.
teaching people to delight in isolation. And it's just like, oh, like they don't like you. Well, we will take you.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, like, and you do create this like really intimate community, but like, it's because it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh, like on Halloween night, we would do like a harvest festival or something
Mhm.
because everyone else was going out trick or treating and we didn't want to be left out. So we did this other
Yeah.
thing where it's like they
Rebrand it.
create these other community experiences to like counter the
Yeah.
like coming of age experience that the rest of society was happening or
Yeah.
having. And it's like, I mean, I guess I'm glad we still had like those moments, but a lot of it was there was just so much identity formed around not being a part of things and being
Yeah.
on the outside looking in. Like a lot of life felt like a kid walking in front of like a toy store and like looking in from the outside and watching other kids play with the toys.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not just talking like I'm not even just when I'm talking about like sex or like some more like serious things. I'm talking about like watching Harry Potter or
Yeah.
like going to prom
Yeah.
or going on like a date or watching like super bad with your friends or just things that are just so normal
Yeah.
that you just like don't get to partake in that are just like kind of harmless and it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know, really frustrating.
Mhm. Okay, so let's talk about how Christians set themselves apart
Mhm.
and kind of isolate themselves so they only have an echo chamber of other friends that are exactly like them.
Yes. Because there is this, especially from like other adult Christians in your life, this obsession to like make sure that you are not unequally yoked.
Yes.
So they want to make sure that you are around people that won't pull you away from the faith,
Yeah.
or that if you are spending time with people that they don't deem like on the same level spiritually that you're at,
Yeah.
that you're a witness to them, which
Yes.
creates such limitations to the way that you're able to have authentic friendships and
Mhm.
connect with people. So if I was like making a friend growing up, I've shared this in a few examples, like there was this pressure to evangelize to them. And I feel like there was a time where I got this idea that like my friends never had anything to teach me, or there
Yeah.
was no like good influence that they could have on my life. Like
Mhm.
I always had, like it didn't matter like what they were thinking,
Yeah.
or like, and I even remember like sometimes talking to my mom, well, like I want to hear their perspective on it. And she's like, okay, well, you need to really guard your heart when they're telling you it.
Mhm.
Like it's a lot of, it was just like such resistance to receiving
Mhm.
intimacy and having to just like push out, this is what you need to do to be saved. Like,
Yeah.
or getting really honestly strategic about your, like kind of tricking people into vulnerability so that you can pressure them into like doing like the
Yeah.
salvation prayer.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of that. And
I
yeah.
feel like a lot was when I was in college, it was like
Mhm,
the first wave of millennials, because I'm
mhm,
an older millennial, and they like definitely had done a lot of research about how millennials weren't really taking in Christianity the same way that previous generations were, because they were
yeah,
more critically thinking and they had bad ideas about Christians and the church, and they'd seen it done really poorly growing up or whatever. So that like the first step to get a millennial to convert to Christianity was just to trust another Christian.
mhm,
So that was like the new idea that like was taught to me, and like the new strategy was just to make friends
yeah,
with non-Christians. And that was like a big deal, like
mhm,
something totally new. And so I was like, okay, well, I have all these people I really like and think they're cool, but like all they do on the weekend is things that I don't want to do, like smoke weed or go drinking on
mhm.
like the special street that you go in your college town, like
Yes.
these fun things. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna find something we all have in common.
Mhm,
And so I started this like really nerdy game night.
mhm.
Cause like as an only child, I've loved board games my whole life. Cause like it's not easy to play a board game when you only have you and your parents,
Yes.
because they don't want to play with you. So I would like anytime I was around like more than two other people, I was like, we could play a game,
Oh,
like
yeah.
and so I started this like game night of like really nerd strategy games. It was like the beginning of like Settlers of Catan being cool, or like Risk. Like we went weird. We
Yeah.
went like nerdy. And it was like one of the highlights of my college
Oh,
time,
yeah.
like, and I never like told them the gospel story. Like I never told them the Romans road, but I did like just learn how to be friends with people that were different than me, but
Yeah.
the motivation was definitely like to to break the mold in like who Christians were.
Yeah.
And that was something like a lot of people told me throughout my life. Like, I've met a lot of Christians, but like I've never met one like you. Probably
Mhm.
because I was deconstructing, like probably because I wasn't on my way to continue to be a Christian,
Yeah.
but
You were
I
starting
re-
to be like, I think you're
yeah.
my lifeboat out, not the other way
Yeah.
around.
But I was like definitely more open-minded than my peers,
Yeah.
and like at least I have that to stand on when I look back at my college days or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think it's a big disservice to Christians to be told like don't like be scared that someone's gonna ruin your values or something because 'cause they're different
Yeah.
than you.
I
Like
would get a lot of like guilt and shame when I would enjoy myself too much around people
yes, not
without
witnessing
it.
enough.
Yes. And
Yes.
but that we just had like all we did was just talk about things that we genuinely liked. I would get
Yeah.
really like anxious about that, or feel like I did them a disservice by not,
Mhm.
like I would leave feeling defeated because I had too much fun.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think it's really weird, like, there was some ideology out there that believed kind of like if you associate yourself with people like different than you,
Mhm.
that means you agree with everything they do.
Yeah.
And so if you're seen together with this person that we know is a fornicator or whatever, like
Yeah.
then we assume you are too. And it's like, well, that's on you. But
Yes.
the idea was like that was something that I had to battle as like a young Christian,
Mhm.
in my young adult years or whatever. Like I need to be able to be around people that are different than me because that's
Yeah.
what I value.
Mhm.
And like people can come at me if they want.
Yeah.
Um, and it creates like very much so much damage with like the LGBTQ plus community
Yeah.
and anyone from a different religion, like at all, or just no religion, or like anything that can make someone like seem different.
Yeah. That
It's
that's maybe one of the things that breaks my heart the
yeah.
most, is that when my friends started coming out,
Hmm.
they would come
Yeah.
out to me, and what I wanted to with all my heart is just say, that's okay.
Right.
We're good. but I felt like
I
I
don't agree with that
couldn't.
lifestyle.
Yes, I
Yeah.
had to come up with
Yeah.
some like hate the sinner, love, or love the sinner, hate the sin, or some
Right.
dumb fucking thing that we came up with.
Yeah.
But it to me, I'm like, all I want to do is just tell you it's okay
Yeah.
because you're afraid. And I felt like I couldn't do that. And I remember like kind of maybe one of the more catalyst moments is of my life is when I was saying something about how, something like to the persecuted Christian thing where we were talking about like I was talking about how it can be hard to be like a conservative Christian in like a liberal artistic school. And I had a young person who was queer come at me and be like, I want you to know how this sounds when you say
Mhm.
that. And they were like, the amount of like persecution and danger and violence put against queer people and
Mhm.
how unsafe it was growing up for me to be gay, to
Mhm.
have someone be like, like not everybody likes me or is like basically like I have a
Yeah.
problem with you thinking that there is like something fundamentally wrong with my people,
Mhm.
and then you don't like that I have a problem with that. And I
Mhm.
remember they told it to me in a really firm way, and I just remember it really radiating with truth.
Mhm.
And it's one of the reasons why I don't like it when people say like you have to like say things in a kind way.
Mhm.
I actually don't think that that's true. I
Yeah.
think that some of the greatest lessons are when someone grabbed me by like my collar and was like, here's what's up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel good, but and yeah, there's still inappropriate ways to
Mhm.
communicate it, but I really appreciate that that person was
Yeah.
really willing to do that. And that was a really big like wake up call to like I'm being slimy because I
Mhm.
want proximity to these people because
Yeah.
I value their friendship, but I don't honor their personhood.
Mhm.
That's really creepy. That's weird. And I'm so glad that I don't do that shit anymore. But it was something that I was really guilty of for a long time.
Yeah. It was like a really hard time to
Hmm.
wrestle with something you'd been taught your whole life and then seeing your friends, come to light with something that they'd been wrestling with their whole life in a
Hmm.
different way. Like just hearing over and over again, like, this is how you deal with someone coming out. This is how you deal with someone's
Yeah. We
sexuality.
had like books and like
Yeah. And then
step by
it's
step
like,
for
that's
everything.
not real life.
Yeah.
And like, who cares?
Hmm.
Let them do whatever they want.
Right. And I
It's
just,
so weird.
it just takes away from like your natural ability to just be able to connect with people. Like I just
Right.
remember like it's not like I was what I was doing was making connection and like intimacy with other people like more clumsy and hard. Where like I had initially the right instinct with a lot of
Hmm.
things, but I felt like I had to go against that and be like, I guess I got to be judgmental about this thing I don't give two fucks about. Like, all right,
Right.
here I go. Like I don't know, it's just kind of weird. But
Agreed. Okay. Well, do you have any final thoughts on being set apart?
um, I don't care about being set apart anymore. I also unrelated. Well, actually a little related. I don't care about being basic, which I feel like is the secular version of like that's basic or like having to be like fringe. I don't give a fuck about. I love enjoying things that other people enjoy.
Yeah.
I like being just like other girls
Yeah.
and I don't really actually enjoy when people say things to me that feel adjacent to like you're unique or
Yeah.
different. I'm like, I don't want to be anymore. I actually just
Yeah.
want to be just like you because
Yeah.
you're really great.
Yeah.
And I have a lot to learn from other people.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of like, I don't, to be honest with you, I just don't really think that I have anything more to say. Like, I have so much to learn right now. And I'm just like, someone needs to like tranquilize me so that I can just like listen to other people. And that's kind of
So,
how
like, let's just keep going with the podcast.
I
Let's
know.
stop talking.
Well, I literally think that the podcast is good because that's a place where I can talk. And then when I go to hang out with people, I can just shut the fuck up and listen. And then I can like actually save that for my relationships outside of this.
Oh
So,
my gosh, we forgot to talk about when we talked about my party.
mhm,
It was so crazy because, like, I mean, it was all of my like friends in
mhm,
Minneapolis that were there, but so many of them have listened to the podcast because they're being good friends.
mhm.
And they were like, "Oh, you're Bailee from the podcast. I know your voice. I know you." Like, so creepy.
It was okay, when I was like younger and I would imagine people like recognizing me, I was like, oh, that's so crazy you recognized me. It made me so uncomfortable.
Like, freaked you out.
No, I was just
I was
like,
like, "Oh, she's over there. It's
I was
Bailee."
like, like, no. And then like this was my go-to line. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Thanks for listening. We have a lot of fun. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. We have a lot of fun.
So
I
funny.
literally didn't know what to
It
do.
was so funny.
I was so troubled by the attention.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I didn't like it at all. I mean, it was so, to clarify, because these people are listening. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
We have a
It's
lot
just
of
like
fun.
the first place we were where anyone like talked about us even doing the podcast in
Yes.
succession with people that we had never met before.
Yes.
I obviously knew them, but you didn't. Yeah.
Yes. So it was just like, that's a social cue I haven't learned yet. I've never had to navigate that. And so I felt a little bit like,
Set apart.
I felt so set apart, y'all. I felt like not like other girls.
Okay, I know that we're trying to wrap up, but I do have a little story
Okay.
about Set Apart. So, like, in my dream life, like, who I see myself looking like is like some cool girl with, like, pink hair and like lots of tattoos and like, leather jacket and like really cool clothes. Like, this is
So
like
cool.
what I think of. But when I actually go to pick something out or like have a style, like, I'm just a basic bitch.
You're a basic bitch and it's chill.
I just am. That's who I
Yeah.
really am. Like, I love a dumb vanilla latte and like and when I met my husband, he's like very much like a cool guy and like I know he's been in proximity of like these type of women his whole life. And I've always just like in the back of my head like it's that little insecure voice in the back of your head like, oh, if only I was like a cool girl like that and had like this pink hair or whatever.
Yeah.
Then he'd really like me. He literally married me, so I don't know why I have a problem. But
yeah.
it's
Also
just like a girl thing.
Alternative guys like basic girls, I've noticed.
Okay, well, this is what happened. This is the light bulb moment.
Okay.
So then he loves to like buy really obscure art, and maybe this isn't that obscure, but he found like the guy who does all the Gorillaz, the band, like artwork. That's like a big thing is the artwork from the Gorillaz band. He was selling something from his collection that was like affordable, so Danny bought it, and it's like a picture of a girl that's exactly what I'm describing. Like cute skirt and tall boots and like pink hair and whatever. And I was like, oh, cool art piece. It's like the girl I'll never be.
Yeah, sounds like you like her more than you like me.
Sounds like you hate me.
You should make it into an argument.
And he was like, wait, you know that like those girls are cool, but like they're not cool to date. It's like
they get manic pixie dream girls.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yes.
Those girls are
like,
unknowable.
He's like, yeah, I've dated those girls. It was terrible.
Buddy.
So he's like, so like I'm very happy with a normal girl.
Yes.
It's just like such a funny mental problem.
It is kind of a funny mental problem.
Yeah. So I think I can legally take a picture of that art and share it on the screen and show you.
If it's yours, I think so because you paid for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we will put it up on the
screen.
Cool.
We'll admire this young lady.
So you can see who I wish I could be.
Yes.
Anyway, I think we need to end this because who knows if this will even record because we've had so many technology problems. But blessed are the listeners, for they shall inherit a genuine friendship with mutual respect that isn't rooted in trying to save them from hell. You can find us at praisebetopod.com and praisebetopod on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Threads. It is finished. Bye.